I am Muslim. I am an immigrant, and interestingly, from Africa. Is anyone surprised that I am being targeted? Is anyone surprised that I am somehow deemed unworthy to speak about American foreign policy? Or that they see me as a powerful voice that needs to be silenced? Frankly, it is expected. I am an American who was sent here, by her constituents to represent them in Congress, a refugee who survived the horrors of a civil war, someone who spent her childhood in a refugee camp, someone who knows what it means to have a shot at a better life here in the United States, and someone who believes in the American dream and the American possibility and the promise and the ability to participate in the democratic process. So I will continue to speak up because representation matters. I will continue to speak up for little kids who wonder who's speaking up for them. I will continue to speak up for families around the world who are seeking justice, whether they are displaced in refugee camps or they are hiding under their beds somewhere like I was, waiting for the bullets to stop.
Watch this. This is not even the peak of the matter, okay? Like, more commenting, like, watch this.
House just voted to remove a Democrat from a major committee. Ilhan Omar was removed from the House Foreign Affairs Committee by a party line vote of 218 to 211 due to tweets. Omar tweeted years ago that GOP support for Israel is fueled by funds from pro-Israel groups. Omar publicly apologized for those tweets in 2019. Democrats claim Omar's removal is revenge for their vote to remove Republicans Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar from committee assignments for tweets inciting violence against Democratic lawmakers in 2021. Omar, one of the few Muslim congresswomen and the only African-born member of Congress, was expected to chair the Foreign Affairs Committee's Africa Subcommittee. What do you think?
Like, you can see Omar is just talking because she has stated how valuable she is, but yet when you get into Congress, you can see most of the people are voting her out. You can see, most of the people are voting against her. When something is valuable like gold, diamond, uranium, and all of these things, right? You see more people crave for it. They want it more. You understand? Because you don't tell yourself you're important. Actually, people see your importance from the things you do and other things you fail to do. That's where they see your lack of importance, you get? So when Omar goes around making all the speech and everything because she's from Africa and all those stuff, you understand? You're not important. We have the right to decide if you're important or not. Not just I, but all the Congress members. And you can see they voted her out of the assembly to show she's not important. Not all the crap, the noise you make and all those kind of stuff, you understand? So let's watch this, and we are getting more deeper into this. And Trump just did the worst thing you could think about here. Like, watch this.
I had a member of the Republican caucus threaten my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes, and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened. Thank you. As a fellow New Yorker, I think one of the things that we should talk about here is also one of the disgusting legacies after 9/11 has been the targeting and racism against Muslim Americans throughout the United States of America. And this is an extension of that legacy. Consistency, there is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this body.
If you want a good laugh today, check this out.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as the fabric of this nation. So not only are we not going anywhere, we are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
First and foremost, Little Miss Brusband, I don't feel American. I am American, so no one can make me feel less than or less like something that I already am because I was born that. And the real problem stems from the fact that you believe that you are the fabric of this nation. By the way, that metaphor refers to people that share fundamental structures, values, beliefs, culture and all this stuff. Didn't you come from Somalia, where the country's major fabric is Islam, what holds that nation together? And in Islam, you either convert or die. That's their belief system, correct? Or you force them to believe what you believe. Didn't Minnesota change their flag for you? See, if you were the fabric of this nation as you're espousing, you wouldn't have come to change the area you're in. You would assimilate and join in and share your culture and share your beliefs without forcing it on anybody, because no means no. But you guys don't believe in that. If I don't believe what you believe, you say I should die. So please miss me with that, little Miss Husband.
In this country, we do not blame the lawlessness of an individual on a whole community. What we also know is that there is not a single evidence that the president or his coolies have put forth that there are any single resource from taxpayers in Minnesota that has gone to aid and abate terrorism. That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis not only in Minnesota, but across the country in danger. And if the president believed that and he had evidence, he would take people to court. So we are sick and tired of the president waking up one day and deciding to put forth falsehoods and demonize whole communities, while the ignorant people that support him then take the lies that he's spreading and use it as a fact. We've seen it during the campaign where he said Asians were eating cats and dogs. We've seen his vice president repeat those lies. We've seen the media run it as a headline as if it was a fact. That is shameful. That is shameful. That is ignorant. It makes us look like a stupid nation that does not believe in truth, but traffics in lies. It makes the world mock us, and we are better than that. We are better than that as Americans.
As you can see, like, if you're saying the community or something, we are not attacking the Muslim community here. We are attacking their habits, the things they do. You can remember when, like, this TPS status was being given to Somalia. Like, we welcome you guys here with an open heart, open mind, and open soul, you understand? But you guys have overstayed here. All the president said was just the good of the country and all that. So he's not targeting you or an individual, okay? He's going for the mass, for the population. Because you can see, like, millions have been taken out every day from Congress, and every day billions of dollars, not even the Somalian currency. We don't even know what it's called here, because we just want the best for this country. That is all we are targeting. You understand? Because everything you say now is good to say them, it's good to air out your own opinions, but what needs to be done has to be done. It's not all you go online and say that's going to change anything here. What has to be done must be done. Like, watch this.
Minnesota, we just received the best news that we could have possibly received. Minnesota, under Governor Walz, is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. I am, as President of the United States, hereby terminating, effective immediately, the temporary protective status program for Somalis in Minnesota. Go, Donald Trump. Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of the great state, and billions of dollars are missing. Send them back to where they came from. It's over. Signed, President Donald J. Trump. Omar, what do you have to say now? You must be shaking in your boots, bitch. Listen, all your buddies that have been stealing billions of dollars from the great state of Minnesota, and the governor did nothing to protect the citizens. It is officially OVER. You and all your disgusting, fraudulent, thieving buddies Sayonara. Bye-bye.
We're going to talk about our girl, Ilhan Omar. When she was elected to Congress, she reported her net worth of negative $45,000. As of May of 2025, her net worth is now $30 million on a congressional salary of $175,000 a year. So you mean to tell me that her income went up 66,676% in just 5 years? On her congressional salary of $175,000 per year, she would have to work 171 years to get $30 million. It's funny that she pledged her allegiance to Somalia when she's here, literally rolling in the dough. Here's her financial disclosure report. Remember when she said white men were the biggest threat to America? Well, she's married to one, besides her own brother.
Ilhan Omar is now under fire after claiming that the president of Somalia is her actual president, and that Somalia is her real home, not America.
caawa aan fursad u helay madaxweynaha Soomaaliya madaxweyne Xasan Sheikh Maxamuud inaan maanta aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay in maanta madaxweynaheena aad tahay Somalia.
Ilhan Omar is now under fire from American citizens after she claimed during a conference with the president of Somalia that the president of Somalia is her actual president and that Somalia is her real home, not America. These comments from Ilhan Omar has garnered controversy from commenters online. Commenters claim that Ilhan Omar should be expelled from Congress immediately and permanently, and that this is completely treasonous. But what do you think about Ilhan Omar's comments? Do you think she should be able to hold office in Congress? Let me know your thoughts down below.
As a fellow New Yorker, I think one of the things that we should talk about here is also one of the disgusting legacies after 9/11 has been the targeting and racism against Muslim Americans throughout the United States of America. And this is an extension of that legacy. Consistency, there is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this body. A member of the Republican caucus threatened my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes, and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened. Thank you.
Oh, like at times when I watch this Muslim community, these communities, when they talk out, when they speak out their minds and say things like this, it really baffles me. And I just have one question. After thinking about everything that is happening, are these people here to serve us? Yes, are they here to serve us? Because when you see how the way they act in Congress, the way they speak out, the way they do that stuff, I kind of wonder if they are here for the greater good of this country, or they are here for their personal reasons, to kill the country, destroy, and like, why are they here for? Why do they do the things they are doing? Because I'm baffled, I'm worried, and I'm really disturbed about stuff like this, okay? Because you can't imagine a woman of such nature and their colleagues, or how will I call them, their citizens and stuff like that. We have given you our home to live in for 30 plus years. Give you this program that your citizens could come into the country and stuff like that for more than 30 years, and you can't fix the problem in your country. You can't fix the problem in your country. Then you turn now you're blaming our community for putting you there. When I hear the way they talk, when I hear the way they speak, and it pains me in my heart to really see the way they talk. You understand? Because you don't feel like they are here to support us. They are here for us. They are here for that private and selfish reasons, as I could say. Because if you're here for us, you will follow the rules, not one. You'll try to develop the country, two, and all the money going back to the home wouldn't be going back there. You also take the money you're being paid here and develop the nation. You understand? So, like, watch this. It's really so pertinent to see things like this. Like, if you're watching this, I want you to subscribe to the channel to get more insights like this. Like, watch this.
Ilhan Omar is livid today furious after the deportation news broke just yesterday. President Donald Trump is revoking the temporary protected status of Somali immigrants in Ilhan Omar's district and the surrounding areas. Now, this affects Ilhan Omar a great deal because these are her constituents. But not only that, just a few days ago, there was a plot discovered where money was being stolen from the United States government by a group of Somali immigrants and funneled to Al-Qaeda. That was just busted a few days ago. And Ilhan Omar's talking about, well, you can't deport me. Well, you're right. You're an American citizen, and there's only a few instances where you can deport an American citizen if they are from another country and they commit some heinous crimes. You can deport them for that. Or they do something to fake their immigration, like, to get in wrongly. Let's say, I don't know, I'll make something up off the top of my head. Let's say somebody married their brother to illegally immigrate to this country or to help him illegally immigrate to this country. Well, then they both get deported. So that just a hypothetical could happen. And so you understand why Ilhan Omar is very upset about this. I guess I don't blame her, because maybe she realizes she messed with the wrong guy one too many times. I want you to watch this and let me know what you think in the comments.
America is in what I can only call an autocorrect mode, where we are seeing the signs on a daily basis, day in, day out, that we are indeed healing as a nation. Now, Ilhan Omar has officially been removed from the Committee of Foreign Affairs. How she got the damn job, I have no idea. I mean, if you know about Ilhan, you know that this is an individual who has a deep disdain for America. She has a genuine hatred for what America represents and stands for. Even as somebody who is not from America, who has a place of power in America, she somehow views us as lesser than. But I digress. This is the real story. Good riddance. Goodbye. Thank God. Arrivederci. Okay? Ilhan, the Democratic platform has had you believe that individuals like yourself actually deserve the positions of power that you're in. You have been deluded into believing that this is what the American people want, is American hating as opposed to America first. Well, turns out that after you clear out enough of the corruption and you allow the people's voices to be heard, the likes of you will no longer have a job. It's truly that simple. Now, this is, again, early signs, early stages, but we will indeed clear all of this out. Y'all hear the news about the rogue activist judges, clearing them out. Y'all are hearing about the cases that are being put together in the DOJ and the FBI's, etc., clearing them out. It will take some time. There's been a lot of damage done over the last few decades, frankly. So be patient, but we're seeing signs of land, folks.
I was teaching a seminar on citizenship once, and a student raised her hand with a question that stopped me cold. She said, "Professor, what happens when someone represents two different places at the same time? Like, whose interests do they actually serve?" I told her that's one of the oldest questions in political philosophy, and history has answered it the same way every single time. You can't serve two masters. Eventually, you have to choose. And when you make that choice, one side will never trust you again. That conversation came back to me this week when I started watching what's developing with Ilhan Omar in Minnesota. Now, before I go further, let me be clear about what I'm seeing. I'm not talking about one event or one controversy. I'm talking about a pattern. A pattern I've seen play out dozens of times across history. A pattern that always ends the same way. Omar represents Minnesota's 5th district, large Somali population. She came here as a refugee, became a citizen, got elected to Congress. That's the American story, right? The whole point of this country, come here, become American, participate in democracy. But here's what I'm watching develop, and this is what interests me as someone who studies how these things unfold. Omar has been advising her Somali constituents on how to handle encounters with immigration enforcement, telling them their rights, how to avoid answering questions, what not to say. Now, she can argue that's just legal advice. Everyone has rights. Fair enough. But Republicans are calling for her deportation, Texas congressmen circulating petitions, Elon Musk saying she's breaking the law, other representatives demanding investigations. That's the surface story. That's what everyone's talking about. But that's not what interests me. What interests me is the pattern underneath, because I've seen this pattern before. In Athens, in Rome, in every republic that's ever existed. And if history is any guide, I can tell you exactly how this ends. Let me explain what I mean. When I farmed, I learned something about irrigation systems. You can't water two fields in opposite directions with the same pump. The physics don't work. Water flows downhill. You have to choose which field gets the water first. You can alternate, sure, but at any given moment, one field is getting water and the other isn't. Politics works the same way. Loyalty isn't infinite. Resources aren't infinite. Time isn't infinite. When you represent people, you're constantly making choices about whose interests come first, and those choices reveal where your real loyalties lie. Now, here's the thing about representative government. The whole concept depends on one simple idea. The person...
Yes, it's just like a biblical statement. You can't serve two masters at a time. You can't be from your country and you came to America under the status and you're being protected, and here now you're now saying all these things. Yes, like after watching all what is happening, like you can't be the two sides. You have to support one. It's either you're transferring funds from here the US to your country or stuff like that. And again, you can now see billions have been missing. And again, reports has been shown on so many channels showing that 1.7 billion of the money in your country comes from abroad. You understand? This is money where we could develop this country. We could set different infrastructures into place to make things happen here, that this money is being sent to your country. And yet you are not still satisfied. You still come along and you say all these things because you have tested this President Trump so many times. Our president is a great man. He's here to make America great again, and this is what we truly want, okay? It's not all about the way you go around, because the Muslim community is a very big community too. We understand that, but you don't have the right to say stuff like this, okay? You don't have the right to say stuff like this, because if you're being deported back now, do you think you're going to miss you? There are other people who want to come, who are greater than you. You have shown your capacity, your potentials. We are not rejecting that. We love you for that. But you shouldn't go around saying things like, if you guys are not there, we are going to feel the... No. We don't feel stuff like that. We don't feel stuff like that. You don't come into our home, threaten us, and you allow us to keep you there. No. I'm sure this is going to make you rethink again, because this is not the line you should play with. Our president is here to build America, and if you are not here to help or support build that foundation to make America great again, then you're going to be sent back to your country. I know your head is hot now, and like, watch this.
What actually triggered all of this? What made the President of the United States look at one state, one community, and say enough? Trump announced he was something called temporary protected status for Somali immigrants living in Minnesota, effective immediately. Now, if you're not familiar with TPS, it's essentially a legal shield the government grants to people from countries facing disaster or conflict. It allows them to stay in America temporarily without fear of deportation. It's meant to be compassionate, humane, a safety net for people fleeing genuine danger. But here's where things took a hard turn. Trump cited large-scale welfare fraud, money laundering, and the discovery that millions of taxpayer dollars had been funneled into overseas networks, some even reaching extremist groups, according to federal reports. He wasn't just ending a program, he was responding to something much bigger, much darker, that had been unfolding for years. Now, before we dive into the political fallout, we need to understand the system that allowed this to happen in the first place. Because this isn't really a story about immigration policy. It's a story about what happens when oversight fails. when programs designed to help vulnerable people get hijacked by organized networks, and when
many things have been done, and now we are now looking for a way to make this thing to come to a conclusion, because due to the immigration policy that was being passed out, okay, due to the immigration policy, the ICE did their best to arrest a whole lot of people. Some went into hiding and all that stuff and stuff like that, and some countries had the free will to get into the country because of the activities being carried out in the country and stuff like that. And many things are happening from different angles. But for us to really be professional here, for us to really do things the right way, we have to follow principles that are going to go against human emotions and stuff like that. And Omar is no different. You understand? Omar is no different. I won't be surprised to see even some Muslims that are American citizens turn against you, because you're here, you're threatening them. It's a state of violence, it's a state of crime and stuff like that. We have to understand certain things, that things have to go sometimes not as we plan, but as they are supposed to be, okay, to make the peace of the country reign. Because you will now be thinking like, okay, he's doing this because he hates me, he hates our people. No, 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 he doesn't hate you, he doesn't hate you, he doesn't hate your people, but their activities. You understand? So take a close look at this. As we wrap up this video, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel so that we get more insights like this. And remember, share the videos with your colleagues so you could talk about this and see how things are unfolding in the United States here. Peace out. Love you. Jola.